Of cool things right here as we usually do. So I'm gonna do this quick tear down of this XK remote. And then we're gonna compare it to a bunch of other remotes that we have here. But you also can see that on the right there, we have the one, the only Captain Drone Mobile. And I love this thing. Because it also happens to be the only, where does it say, the only Arma that doesn't cost you an Arma and a Lega. And so that's why I had to get one right away. Performance is fantastic. I've driven this thing all over the place and it just performs fantastically well. It's been here in Irvine together with some of the coolest robots that are on the streets here. The Amazon robots. So anyway, I'm sure that you guys can't see those videos, but if the algorithm will allow, squirrel, then you may be able to see those things. But you have to be a little bit ballsy, and I don't know. That makes me crabby when the algorithm is against us. But you know, we've been. I think now it's been 3 weeks that we've been stuck around 1,500, and we're just capped there. So what I really need is the keys to freedom. Got the keys, anyone? Anyway, let's get on with it. So this that you see here was my absolute favorite remote control. It is a high-tech, and I don't think that you can buy this anymore. It is super old school. And so one of the first things that I did with this back in the day was convert this remote so that I could run other cars. So I had it set up so that my Exceed RC drift kit would work on it. And it was a Drift King, super cool car. And so it had this kind of setup in the remote, but it came with one of these pistol grip things. Now everything is being pistolized. Even drones. Now you can fly drones with pistol grips, and you know, because we're all trigger happy, aren't we? So anyway, back to this. So I had to change all the things in here, all the electronics in here, in order for this to run with my Exceed RC car. Unfortunately, then I upgraded to this remote, which is even better, but it had other problems, such as there's no springs in this side of the thing. And although that's fine, because at least there are springs on this side, so this worked rather well. Eventually I messed things up with this too. So, and the receiver, the receiver that went in this remote right here, basically all of these electronics no longer run with the new ESC and stuff that I installed in my Exceed RC drift car. So then this became unusable, and it's just a nice piece of tech that has no purpose at this point. So what I thought was maybe we could convert this one to be more like this one, or just convert this one again so that it would run with this awesome car right here. Oh, interesting. The glue came apart just now. Maybe it's because it was in the garage for a long time, and with temperature changes, eventually the glue stopped sticking. So anyway, I'm gonna have to reattach that. It's too bad. I love this camera. The camera's pretty cool too. I don't love that the, what do you call it? The thing that it comes with is probably needs to be put into beta flight and all those things. They always have to be put into beta flight because the range on them is just terrible out of the box. So they always talk about how analog FPV is so much better than DJI FPV, and then DJI, even though it's digital and a bunch of other things, it just comes out of the box very unlocked and stuff, so you can go far. But the analog does not. So anyway, it's for the ultra smart people. I'm not there. So anyway, so we're talking about these remotes. This was my favorite. We're talking about possibly transferring the things that are in here into this or possibly this one. And the reason for that is not that this remote is bad or anything. I've learned how to use it. It's great. And especially for one-handed individuals, one of the cool things about this was that I could remote control this. I could remote control it like this and steer with one hand. So then I could hold the camera. And so that's how I was able to shoot the videos of this vehicle here next to the Amazon Robots Scout, basically. That's here in Irvine, California, Woodbridge. Anyway, so that is the positive of this. I mean, you can basically remote control this car with one hand by doing this. You got the trigger the way you see over here, and then you can steer, which makes it great. I mean, if you're missing an arm, that's great, because it's a heck of a lot easier than to do this, where you're like, and then, because you still have to sort of have something to hold this onto. I mean, you could put it down. You could put it down like that, and then go forward, and then it's hard to see because it's everything like forward and then left and right. I'm sure people do that kind of thing. It's way easier to just grab one of these. Anyone can do this. So anyway, but the reason why I need to do this modification isn't because of this, because I've learned how to use these and I'm pretty good at them now, but it's because the Arma comes with the only design of pistol grip that ticks me off the absolute most. And the reason for that is it only runs with Duracell batteries that I know of, or similar batteries like these, not the rechargeable ones. Whenever you try to put in anything else other than that, like this, it's too thick and it gets stuck in there. And I've done that in the past and it got stuck, and I thought I had to throw the whole thing out, and I was just being stupid because I was like, hey, what if I put this battery in? Radio Shack batteries get stuck in here. The envelope or envelope, whatever you want to call these, I don't know, also gets stuck in there. And so I'm kind of tired of that, because it means that I can only run the Duracells that you buy from Costco or wherever else you buy yours. And that really annoys me, because I like to use my EBL batteries, Radio Shack, and Eneloop. I also got these from Costco, I think. Anyway, so it's a bit of a drag. And so for me, I'd much rather have this kind of remote, or even one where the batteries don't get stuck in their Arma. Seriously, the design flaws. And they would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for that pesky mark reviews. But anyway, nobody on any of the channels discusses this humongous glitch, which is very annoying because, as I said before, stupidly, I was not thinking about this. So when I bought this kit, the first thing that I did was, oh, I'm going to just stick my batteries in there. And I plugged them in, and then eventually I had to open up a bunch of the screws, or unscrew a bunch of the screws in order to just get this out. I was about to basically send this back to the company and just say, like, I want a refund, because I thought that I was going to be stuck. But then luckily I had enough perseverance to be willing to mess with stuff, and eventually we got what we wanted out of it. But anyway, I love this car. I have nothing at all that I can say that is bad about the performance of this vehicle. In fact, it is a great vehicle. So I can only bash the remote for that particular reason. Other than that, it's fine. I mean, as I said before, I was able to run it one-handed. All right. Anyway, so let's do the tear down here. So the biggest thing that annoys me about this remote here is that when you try to open it, it's got different screws. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's got 2 more screws here. Now, you think, oh, well, that's fine. It's just a bunch of screws. But truly what you need is 3 different tools, or maybe 2 different tools. So this one here is great for all of the 4 ones on the side. So no problem there. But these ones are pushed in way deep. So you need something like this to be able to get there. But, and I was, doing my best to get those out, and I just couldn't. I had my guns out. I had Rocky and Arnie, or Arnold, working at their strongest, and I just couldn't get it out. So I had to use this. I had to use this one here and a special screwdriver that's a little bit longer that actually fits in there just to get that out. So that was a bit of a drag here because not everybody's going to have one of these cool power tools. And by arm strength, muscle strength alone, anyway, I should have called Rock. He could have helped me, but he's unavailable. So anyway, one of the things that I'm thinking of doing here is, you see how this one here has all 4. I think it's a double spring system anyway, but you can go in 4 directions, right? And this one does not have springs in this one. It has springs here. And then on this side, it's fully springed, just like that one. So I was thinking maybe one of the cool things that we could attempt is to remove this one that is just like this one and stick it in there. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, let's open this up so you guys can see what's inside. And now that I've removed the screws, you've only got this little cupboard here. Notice how this one has 6 batteries. This one only requires 4. This one requires a total of 8. So you know which one I'm going to prefer, right? I'm going to prefer this one. But sadly, this one is the only one that has all the options that I need, and it connects to all the receivers that I purchased. So I'm going to have to go with this one. Anywho, let's open this up so you guys can see the stuff that's within, the magic that lies within. There we go. So watch out. First of all, the antenna is in there. So when you do this, you want to gently not do what I did and just pull it this way instead of upwards. It has a very delicate small wire in there, but luckily it's not pushed in very deep and glued in place, so it does come out, no problem. Also, I didn't do this on video, but this here is plugged in this slot that you see here, like that. So I did that beforehand. So remember that. Don't just take it off and just pull it off, because you're going to desolder or like break these wires, which if you're good at soldering is no problem, but if you're not, then you're really in trouble. And it's an extra step, which you don't really want to have to do unless you have to, right? I don't know. I'm often wrong. So anyway, this looks a lot different than what you've seen on this system here. And it does have a screen here. This thing is the only one out of all of them that has a screen inbuilt, which is very cool. I like that. Also, I like how XK have done their wiring. If you look at the wiring, look at this. They're all sort of separate. They're not mingled or commingled in positions that makes it really tough and rough to get to and to service. Okay, this is very nice cable management. Imagine that. Imagine that. We can say good things about XK. I always say good things about XK. I love WL Toys and a bunch of the Chinese brands. I also love Arma and a bunch of the American style sort of brands or Western brands. I don't know. I just, there's a lot of brands that I like, and some are from Asia and some are from Europe and some are from America. All right, so let's see. This needs to be open again. I'm gonna open this one too so you guys can see. Oh, brother. Okay, so as I was messing around, they have these fictional buttons. They're fake that you could replace with non-fictional buttons. But anyway, they go in here, and I messed around with them, so they just popped out. Not the biggest problem because they don't do anything. They're just for show. But they do pop out. So let me just put this to the side here. And we will open this. And this one only requires one type of screwdriver to open it, which is a beautiful thing, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong. But in my opinion, it only requires one, which is a good thing. And this one here, remember about this, I think I talked about it before. You want to make sure you pop this off because it impedes your opening of the remote. And if you don't know about this, it will ruin your day. So pull that up. Don't pull it off completely because you may damage the antenna, which you don't want to do. Unless you do want to do it, I don't know. Everyone's different. Somebody likes breaking everything. I don't particularly like to. I do end up breaking a lot of stuff, but it's by accident. By accident. I don't know why people say on accident, but it's by accident. Okay, there we go. All right, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, remember, just like the other one, and this is actually easier to remove than the other one. And so I'm going to just unplug it for you guys. But most of these remotes have this feature in there where you are going to have to unplug the batteries from that side. Okay, so immediately you can see the difference of this. Which one, and again, it's up to you guys. You can decide which one you think has better cable management. Is it this one? Or is it this one? Now also on this one, the cool thing is you can just unplug separate bits. And so if you are, I think this would be one of those products that Louis Rossmann would like, because look at how easy it is to just unplug any of these bits and replace them separately. On this, and I will show you again because I've done this one time before, I think. A lot of these bits and pieces are connected up in a way that if you want to fiddle with one, you've got to fiddle with all of them, sort of. Look at this mess. Look at this mess here. So, and these things are soldered directly into the chip, so you're done. Basically, you can't just manually remove. You have to desolder them, which, again, if you're big on soldering and desoldering and all that stuff, you can mess with that. But I personally believe that this is a whole lot easier to work with and the way to go. I do think that this one probably has a better antenna. And this also can be used as a simulator. You can attach a special cable that goes in here and you can use this remote for simulators and stuff. I don't use it because I have Real Flight that came with a really, really premium controller. So I don't need that. But anyway, so what I am going to try to do at some point is replace this one here that has, let me see, where are the springs? You can see there's one spring right there. And I know there's another one. I just don't know where it is or if you can see it on camera. Oh, actually you can. There's a spring here, right here, and another spring right there. In between this bit and that bit, there's a spring. So one, okay, maybe it's more visible now that I pull this down, is used and It's a very interesting spring system. But anyway, this spring helps you go forward and back, and then left and right is the spring here, left and right. And on this one, there's only one spring, which is this one, and it is for left and right. It seems to be a slightly different system than what you have here. And this one is connected to some kind of potentiometers. And I am not sure exactly if that's the same thing over there. But whatever it is, the potentiometers on this one seem to be a lot smaller. Whether that makes any difference or not, I don't know. But anyway, so enough said. So cable management, which one do you guys like more? Gimbal systems, which ones do you guys like more? It'd be nice to see some interesting comments. This thing has more dials than the other one. But anyway, now we have a chance maybe to replace that bit and see if it works better. Of course, for me, I'm going to have to cut all these different wires and then put them together, shrink wrap and all that stuff in order for any of this to run for me. And also this thing here, as I said before, has a screen. It's the only one out of them that has a screen, and it has buttons that you could program for photo taking and stuff like that. I don't know, stuck mode, take off. Anywho, so we'll see what happens with all that. I'm going to try to see if I can get any of this stuff to work, and if it does, I'll let you guys know. And if I can replace this with one of these, that would be better for me personally. A lot of people will hate it, but for me, it'll be better. I'll be able to make better videos for you guys and more fun stuff. But anyway, I love this vehicle. Another shout out to Captain Drone and all the other cool channels that keep helping us out. So yeah, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember to be ballsy. Try not to be too squirrely or crabby. And have a fantastic rest of your week, guys. I will try to do more videos this week, and possibly another live stream pretty soon where I will fly more things in real flight, because I love doing that, as well as I'm doing more work in the garage and setting up more of those fun things for you guys, like rock crawlers and RC cars and stuff for you guys to see. But before we go, let's give a shout out to Shang Mei, Excellent, Color Farm, and D Domisol. I hope I didn't forget anything or anyone. And as always, peace out.